Hello, this is J.N.S. Happy Thursday. And so today I want to cover a video on esoteric politics. And we're going to be talking about like certain events that we have seen in the campaign with both politicians. And I just want to just give some strategy or just some things that I just or sometimes just commentary, like in particular like the situation with the NABJ interview with Trump. I want to talk about the JD Vance candidate, some of the comments he has made and some of his strategy, the strategy of the conservatism in terms of is is a statement that Megan Kelly just recently made, and it was a debate that I was actually watching about should the past be fair game in terms of uh, bringing up the past of what someone did, of what of who someone slept with, or uh, their past sexual innuendos. Is that fair game, or is that going too far out the box? I'm going to talk about the strategy behind that, and then I also want to speak on Kamala's strategy campaign in terms of having the Megan the Stallion come out, and her candidate of picking Tim Waz. Let me actually pull his information up. And so I have to say, esoteric politics is a genre of politics that I talk about in terms of looking beyond the veil of just what's on the surface level in terms of whatever is on like CNN and MSNBC, whatever's in mainstream media. We do look behind the veil in terms of understanding the energy behind these things, the symbology that these candidates may use, the optics, all of those type of things. So that's what esoteric politics is looking beyond the veil on a more energetic level, but also the symbols, the historical context, the context of even the candidate's bloodline, the families they come from. All of that is the esoteric aspect of the of politics in terms of how they campaign, how they strategize, the propaganda. To me, I like to dig a lot deeper. And also, when we study these bloodlines and when we look at these candidates, even some of the how do I say this, the shadow aspects of organizations that they belong to, things, symbols that they throw out themselves. And so I did a political video. I want to say it was like last week, and like I got into like some hot water on YouTube about it. So I have to be somewhat careful of what I say on here. So maybe I should preface this by saying for entertainment purposes. And to be honest, what is politics at this point in this moment in time in 2024? I mean, it seems to be more like a theater than an actual, structuring out the governance of American American government. But that's just me. And for some of us, we do see at this point in time, we do see politics more so as like watching a movie. I mean, in particular, this presidency, I mean, this election cycle, I have to say, it is like watching a movie. It's like, I mean, come on, yeah. Ever since, I mean, Trump, he puts on a good show. I mean, we saw what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, and all of that with the Secret Service, and they had to go testify before Congress. And then Kamala comes out there, she Megan the Stallion ass shaking in Atlanta, Georgia. That shit, it looks like a fucking movie. I mean, do y'all remember? Let me share my screen. Actually, there was there was a movie by Chris Rock where he played like the first black president. First, let me just try to pull up. This was like actually the first movie that I watched where there was a first black president. It's called Head of State. You guys remember the movie Head of State? Oh man, I want to play clips so bad, but I know I can't because of YouTube. But this movie Head of State, we watched it back in the day, right? And and remember certain parts of the movie was just so freaking obnoxious where like we would never see this happening. Like some certain parts of it would show the ghetto dancing or something like that, or like, oh, this black person, and Bernie Mac was in there. Shout out to Bernie Mac. But Head of State was funny as fuck. Like as a little kid, I ain't gonna hold you. Like I watched this movie over and over again. I probably should watch it. They had the campaign management manager. I honestly think as Black Americans, I honestly think we should watch Head of State so we can compare and contrast. Like back in the day, Head of State was like it was just known that this was just so ridiculous. There's no way that any of these things could happen in terms of the way you run a campaign. Certainly not. And then we fast forward to 2024 and we see Megan Thee Stallion. You know, she's a beautiful woman. We see Megan Thee Stallion shaking whole big old juicy ass right in Atlanta, Georgia, where Kamala Harris, the vice president of the United States, who's running for president, is speaking at. Like this is like Head of State type movie type shit. It looked like a movie. Like that looks like a movie. Watching it, it's like wow. And it's like, and I described, somebody had this beautiful comment. I actually want to share it. But I described how, like, at this point, when it comes to politics, I don't think anyone is like sitting here thinking that having their whole life and livelihood wrapped up in this stuff. I mean, maybe they do, but, you know, this comment right here that somebody posted up. Politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex by Frank Zappa. And that's true. For anybody that knows how this system is ran, the American corporation. I mean, I don't want to say it's a banana republic because it's not, or maybe it is for those who have more experience in politics and understanding systems better than I do. Maybe they can make that argument, and maybe they'll say, "Oh, it's imperialist." Da, 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 da. Where are these ants coming from? I spill something. It's like ants. I had to address this. It's like baby ants, and I don't want them to come trying to set up shop and buy shit. I usually have some tea tree oil for that ass to keep them at bay. Matter of fact, I have this essential oil diffuser. Let me put this on to get them out of here. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't want them to try to set up shop. I'm trying to let the door close on them. It's interesting. They didn't start crawling and start doing my video. But anyways, yeah, politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex. Yeah, I mean, it's like watching a movie. And then you know how you scream when you watch a movie and you see the do something stupid and you scream at the TV, even though they can't hear you when they do, or when the scene is illogical, or you know how you want it'd be so obvious they should take the other stairs or the other route, and you're like, what are you screaming at the TV and they can't hear you? But that's kind of how like politics is for me at least. I mean, and I know people take this so serious, and why not? But for me, I ain't gonna hold you. This kind of look more like theater. It's good theater. It's been good programming, I have to say. It's entertainment nonetheless. It's entertaining nonetheless. Literally, the situation that we've just been seeing just roll out, like even this Kai Sanat and Kai Sanat said that the Secret Service and organization of the DNC had reached out to him. And Kamala comes out and denies that her campaign reached out to him. Well, they maybe not her or her campaign, but a DNC third party did reach out on her behalf for him to campaign for her. So it was not her campaign, but people that that are I presume well, it's not even presumed, but people from the DNC did contact Kai Sanat, that are in association with the DNC, and so these are things that are interesting to see. The NABJ convention interview. It's like, what in the world is going on? I mean, this totally looks like it's madness. It's like, how like we used to be the Truman Show for like, or the Truman Show for, and we still are to an extent, or even mainly, but it's like we used to be the Truman Show for these people, particularly the shadow government. It's interesting to see. It's kind of like we're watching the movie, but for those of us that understand esoteric politics, we can even see beyond that. Like we can see beyond the Trump and the Kamala campaign, the DNC and the RNC, and the PACs, the super PACs, the lobbyists, the oligarchy. We can see beyond all of that, and that's where the stuff gets interesting in terms of how certain energies get piled up on one side and the other, the way the energy shift between the campaigns based on certain strategies or the strategies people use. And so I'm coming from that perspective. I'm not going to be saying anything that's too controversial or what I would say. I'm not so, how do I say, I don't want anybody to just take this and just be like, oh my gosh, you know. So there's that. But I do want to cover like some of the strategies or some of just commentary on what I think in terms of some of the people that they had chose, like JD Vance and the Tim Waz guy. Matter of fact, let me share his information because that he's interesting. And so I just want to give just general comments, Terry, on some of the things that we've been seeing. Now, when it comes with Trump, I think Trump's campaign strategy, for the most part, has been good it really has. It's been solid. It really has. I think I've seen about one hiccup that the public doesn't really, but I just want to address him. Somebody from his team can send this to him or coach him on it, and then I think pretty much he'll be good to go. Um, but other than that, I don't, this one is really more so maybe about JD Vance and even the Tim Waz situation and perhaps strategy for the conservatives itself because they itching to use Kamala's Willie Brown situation and there's a way to do that and there's a way to turn off people with that and there's a way to do that. So I want to address that because there was a debate. Let me pull that up too because that was, where did I save that at? Did I save that video? I know I told myself let me save it because there was a debate. And you know how like when you're watching a video and then there's a recommended videos on the side, but then if you put autoplay it automatically goes to the next video. And so I was actually watching an NABJ interview, and then once that had turned once that was over, the video automatically went to this guy. What's his name? SOS cast with Adam Sosnick. I literally, this is my first time. It just played, and then I think I was either in the bathroom or cooking or something, but it just was playing automatically because I had my auto play on, and I was listening to this guy, and then he had a whole panel of people discussing based on Megyn Kelly's perspective, Megyn Kelly's words about if they should use Kamala Harris body count and is it fair game. And then so as you could see on your screen, they were all discussing this. And I was just like, it was really fascinating to just see regular Americans opinions on what they felt should happen or what it should take place and whatnot. So I want to give my 2 cents on this because I thought it was interesting. I'm like, who is this Adam Sosnick guy? But I mean, you hear something, but here's also Megyn Kelly. She got a whole 2 weeks ago, the truth about Willie Brown and Kamala Harris and how she got her political start with Charlie Sperling. So, they already, going over time with it. And like I said, there's a way to do that. And then there's things where certain information is more relevantly culturally to other communities than others in terms of someone's past and in terms of how much weight they put on the past in terms of credence, in terms of how they're going to hold this against Kamala Harris. And so I want to talk about that. But first, the NABJ interview with Trump and the people from the Chicago, this is the National Association for Black Journalists. And I know I'm late because I know this has happened about a week ago or some shit like that. I have to say that first question was ridiculous. I have to say, I thought the Harris girl, the other one that was way on the farther side that Trump couldn't hear, I honestly thought she asked fair questions. So here I'll share here. The girl in the pink, I think they were calling her Harris, if I'm not mistaken. I felt like her questions were decent. I felt like she was the only one, but I did think this young lady right here, she's a pretty woman, the lady in the blue. I think your decorum and your behavior, to be honest, it was disgraceful. And I would be saying the same thing if somebody would have ambushed Kamala like that, or any elected official or candidacy. Trump is a former president, and so the way you came off, that's just common sense. I don't know who told you to do that, who put you up to that. And here we go esoterically. I'm gonna let you know the energy behind this. You could take this with this what you will. You could say, "Oh, this entertainment purposes, whatever." But I'm saying I could see things spiritually, and you guys know that. But I'm gonna say this, and nobody has said this. And I think maybe people know, and then it's kind of like hush mode to me. I hope I don't just go and be saying shit. Like I said, it's esoteric. But the energy that the first thing that I picked up when it came to this interview was strong army, not physical strong army. These journalists did not want to do, maybe with the exception of the baby girl in the pink. These two journalists, that's why the other founder of the NABJ, or not the founder, but the person who was sitting on the board or whatever, she quit because she wasn't going to do the interview. She didn't want to do the interview with Trump. She didn't want to give him a platform, so she ended up quitting. But these two ladies, the one in the black and the one in the blue, the first thing it was a top-down decision that they had no control over. And it was either you're going to do the interview or you fucking get fired. Now, I could be wrong on this, and I'm willing to be wrong. But I'm telling you, esoterically, the first thing I picked up from watching this interview and her energy, and then reading about how that other lady had quit because they didn't even tell her about the interview. This was top down. Somebody told them, we interviewing Trump, giving a platform to Trump, and they didn't agree with it. The lady in the blue and the lady in the black, and it was like, we're interviewing him. Either you're going to interview him, you're going to fucking quit. It is what it is, and it was a decision that was above their pay grade that took place. And yeah, they picked some people that they felt or whatever would get the job done, but this was something that was heavily top down, and it was a flex. And I think these boule niggas thought that they was going to be able to be like, we're not extending our platforms to him and our institutions to him, and somebody made a call up higher, and it was like, you're going to interview President Trump at the NABJ, and it's as simple as that. And we're doing it. And if you don't want to, you can quit. We will find someone else to replace you. That was the energy that I got from that situation. Like I said, I'm willing to be wrong. I ain't trying to act like I can see it. I'm just saying, telling you, first time this aired, you actually, and that lady that said I quit because she the one that decided to quit. They could have quit, but they didn't want to quit. But this lady in blue, she thought she was gonna hop. She thought she was gonna have a moment, and get her ass up there and ask an obnoxious question. Now, here's my thing: if she wanted to even ask that question, you save that for last, right? So you have a good start, a very amicable start, and you give him the respect and ask him the questions that ask him the questions that you want to ask and whatnot. But you could even save that to the last to the towards the end of the fucking interview if you wanted to just get your little rocks off. But starting an interview like that is crazy as hell. Then y'all were 35 minutes late. That's very disrespectful to do that. And it's stereotypical, which I don't even care about the stereotypes. But as everybody starts stuff late sometimes, and you have tech issues, some shit happens, some things happen. But y'all were totally unacceptable. Like I said, they didn't want to do this. That's why they was stalling. I'm telling you, this was a decision from the higher ups. They had no choice. Let me make sure my sound is good, because I know when I be talking esoterically, my shit get cut off. But they had no choice but to do this interview. And you could tell by the way that they treat starting 35 minutes late, not greeting him. I mean, the girl in the black and the girl in the pink, they didn't even walk over or, to like shake a hand or do, 35 minutes late. And then the first question that they ask starts off with that obnoxious accusatory question. And I don't know if I can play this stuff here. I ain't trying to. I'm already in some hot water, so I don't even think I'm even try to play it out. You'll just look at screenshot. But she starts off with this crazy ass question, and any of the, like I said, if maybe it was halfway through the interview and she wanted to ask that, because sometimes you have an interview, you may have some pushback, or you may disagree with the way he answers something, or the way he would have answered it. Then you could have asked your question in a heated manner because you didn't agree with the way you wanted to push back or something. Things like that can't happen. Then she says, he's answering the questions, and he said that I've done more for the black community than Abraham Lincoln and whatnot. Which, let's not get crazy. But she gonna say more than Lyndon B. Johnson. Oh, I damn near fell out. And I'm like, you can't be a black American talking like that. Because and I'm not trying to do no diaspora thing, but it's just that it's known in the black community that Lyndon B. Johnson was a hardcore racist, and that he did pass that civil rights bill out of pressure. Um, and also, he again, psychological operations, military operations and stuff. These people playing out shit 50 years ahead. 50 years ahead. He told you to your faces, if I set up a process where make it seem like, we give these blacks, these set asides or this welfare, or we've set it up where it looks like the Negro is ahead of. I mean, the Negro is always beneath, the white folks. They can have them voting for the Democratic Party for the next 50, 60 years. And he said that I will have these people voting for the Democratic Party for the next 50 and 60 years. They have it on record that he was calling black people the N word. I've heard the recordings of Lyndon B. Johnson calling black people the N word with the hard ER. And so this is stuff we played for years on a Clubhouse. I used to share these clips of Lyndon B. Johnson calling black people N-words. I used to share the document of the stuff that I'm talking about, as far as when I'm saying he's going to have black Americans voting for the Democratic Party for the next 60 years, even though they're not even going to realize that they're not actually helping us. But that was all by design, and that's how psyops work, and that's how think tanks work. They plan stuff 50, 200 years ahead. And so when she said even Lyndon B. Johnson, what about Lyndon B. Johnson? What about, I know you cannot be serious even saying something like that. This man was calling black Americans N-word with a hard ER on a recorded line. It was a recorded tape. You can look this up. It was hard to find, but I remember finding it, and I shared that bad boy. And I'm sure it's still up there, That was years ago when we were passing that information about Lyndon B. Johnson. And so my thing is, I don't know what kind of thing you were looking to do with that. And you should have apologized right then and there, to be honest. Even if you don't like Trump and you're not going to vote for him, you hate his guts. You should have just apologized, because this is not good. This is not going to be good for your career. Now, I always believe in second chances and whatnot, and that you can make things right and whatnot when you have a blunder. Everybody have a blunder and shit. But it was disrespectful. And when he voiced his concerns about the 35 minutes late and all this stuff, you should have just apologized and kept it moving. I understand it's NABJ. Maybe they want a more Democratic, they want to be with Kamala or whatever. And that's fine. Another thing that tells you something suspect about the whole thing is because they offered Kamala a virtual screening, or that the opponent she would be there. She wasn't physically there, but they did offer she offered to do virtual Zoom, and they said no. She offered to reschedule it, and they said no. That lets you know that this is top down. Esoterically, there's something top down. There's somebody pulling the strings higher up, way above any of these people on this stage pay grade, way above the founder of NABJ, or the people that are the president and the co-founder. That let me know right then and there. The fact that they said no to Kamala rescheduling, and they said no to her showing up to the virtual. I'm telling you, this shit is already sealed in the bag. And they know it, and they pissed. And so they go on with a horse and pony show. But I mean, we got to figure the lady in the blue, she's been with CNN. I mean, these women have experience. I don't know much about the lady in the black, but I've seen this lady in the pink before. These women have experience in this field, and I mean, the lady in blue, she works for ABC News, so they know how this shit go, and they know theater, and they know propaganda, they know. So I don't know who put her up to this, and maybe the network and her people gonna have her back and kind of spin this away, and it can kind of bury this, and as far as career wise. But I do have to say, just for anybody This was a disgraceful way to start an interview. And again, I do think, as far as her asking the questions, I just think it should have been more towards the end, or within the context of wanting more feedback from a question that maybe she felt she didn't agree with, or he didn't answer correctly. That would have been a better call, in my opinion. I think the girl in the black, I don't know, she just looked like she didn't want to be there. And then also there was a part in the it was a part in the interview where I felt like her energy was um I don't know, like it's like they were like trying to really get him tripped up or something. It was like this leaning forward. I don't know, this it was like an energy of I mean, it was hidden, but to me, I was getting like, we got to make him look a certain type of way. And I thought he answered his questions really well. I thought, for the most part, I think the Sonia Massey situation, that's the only thing going forward as far as Trump. This is the advice that I have for Trump as far as that question. You got to answer that more concise. When they say, do you think a situation like that deserves immunity? You must say no. That's just high level strategy, and you may say, I mean, you have your policies on whatever you have on that, but you have to make that demarcation clear for black constituents. You have to make that demarcation clear that in the event where there's a situation like a Sonia Massey, where you know that they have charged that police officer. I'm sure you had read that. That take about 5 minutes to read. You go Yahoo Finance or some shit, or damn BBC or something, and just pull up the Sonia Massey situation. Look through. If you know you go on an NABJ, you know as much of Black Americans, you know that this situation just happened. You just briefly look to see what happened. Okay, they charged him. They charged him. If they charged him, it kind of looked like he ain't immune, and you saw the video yourself, and it's like, when they ask them type of questions, you need to be concise on it and say that's not a case of immunity. So it's not the immunity policies you have wouldn't apply to that particular situation, because that is different. And as we know, he has been charged, and so there is video evidence, and so that is not what you are talking about, and perhaps even explain the immunity policy, the differences of that demarcation, or have someone do it for you on your team. But that question, that needed to be concise. I do think that the way you answered other questions overshadowed that. But before I saw that interview, I just want you to know, because this is how politics work and it's how propaganda work. They took that Sonia Massey snippet, and also even just going viral on Twitter, the way that they made. But I'm telling you, before I saw that interview, it was like, oh, he said that he's indifferent, and he didn't answer that question with the Sonia Massey. He said, what did I read? I'm sure it took a screenshot. It was like, he said that may be different, and it didn't look good. It didn't look good what I saw. Like the way they're going to type that out, it does look like, what, the water situation. The girl with you talking about with the water. You don't answer that like that. That is so insensitive. And even if you didn't mean to come off that way, is the way that, even if you were to write that, the way they wrote this stuff in articles, they put. I'm telling you, I've read even an article where they typed out the water situation, and it made you look crazy before I saw the interview. So I'm sitting here already biased. I'm like, I know he ain't say that about that lady. I know he ain't say that about Sonia Massey. So I go on there and I see the interview starting crazy, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I'm seeing, and then I watched it and I said, okay. And things translate different from when you reading about it versus when you actually seeing it, the body language, the whole interview, the whole. So I was like, okay. So I noticed that most people didn't really even pay attention to it, but when you read that and you don't watch that interview, you thinking crazy stuff, like, oh my gosh. So I do think you need to have a demarcation on those type of situations. That is very important. If you said you love the Black American community, that's important, because we have been riddled with the crime bill of 1994, and we've had the war on drugs with that Nixon war on drugs, where those things had been detrimental to our community, not in a form of just doing away with crime, but a lot of injustice, like Biden even apologized for that 1994 crime bill. And yes, you want to be tough on crime and whatnot. But when things are unjust, or when there are we dealing with recidivism, and I think you had a program in 2018, Step Up, First Step program, whatever, that deals with recidivism. See, stuff like that. You want to talk about that as well, stuff, those type of things, or expand on that policy. I don't even know if that's still a thing, but I know in 2018 there was something about like steps, the First Step Act, to reduce recidivism by having programs that would increase productivity. And again, not all Black Americans are criminals, so we can't even relate to any of that. But nonetheless, when we talk about like police immunity, uh, they wanted you to trip up, and they almost got you. You didn't fall completely into the trap with the Sonia Massey question, but you almost did. And that was a very close call. And they were able to write stuff in articles about the water situation and made it sound crazy. It made it sound like you just blew it off or something, or like, oh, well, that may be different. No, you have to be concise on it, and that's fair, and that will be fair. And I think that will go a long way. Now, again, briefly just read up on what took place. Like if you know it's something big for that week that happened, they're going to ask you about it. You might as well just briefly to take 10, 15 minutes to see what the hell going on, watch a couple of clips of it, so that you at least know somewhat of what you, or have your team do it. Another thing, I think that a Trump strategy, I think he's doing good. He just had an interview with 100 million views, 100 million hits, or some shit like that. How was it, that interview with? Damn. Oh, was it Aiden Ross? Was it Aiden Ross with them 100 million views or something like that? I mean, Aiden Ross is a Gen Z or millennial. Let me see about Aiden Ross. I think he is. How old is he? Oh, he's like 23. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's Gen Z, right? And so they just did an interview. 23 years old, and that's major. I think that was a good strategy. Got an interview coming up with Elon Musk, and so as far as involving Gen Z, because this is Gen Z, right? 23 is Gen Z. That's pretty clever, I have to say. That's pretty clever because Gen Zs, I mean, these people are influencers. Aiden Ross is one of the biggest Twitch streamers, if I'm not mistaken, or does he do Twitch or YouTube? I don't know much about. I'm not gonna act like I know who Aiden Ross is because I really don't. But have heard of him before, and I do know he was doing collaborations with other YouTubers, I want to say. But yeah, so they were doing the Trump dance or whatever. And so as far as propaganda and strategy and the optics of these things, I think that is a wise move, and perhaps even maybe even some more Gen Zs. You had Aiden Ross on the books, but let me see who else is popping right now. I mean, it's a bunch of YouTubers. They got Tyler, but I don't even think he really even needs this route. But I think it's smart. I think when you can get it, you can get it. But I don't even think he needed to necessarily even go that route. But I do think that it was a wise decision. And a lot of people don't like Aiden Ross is controversial, but whatever. That's not the point. So other than that, then you got the interview coming up with Elon Musk on Monday. I think it's smart, and I do think y'all need to work on that debate though, because they trying to say that you're running from that debate with Kamala. Just do the debate, plan. You know, um, focus more on your policies. You can get at her or whatever, but uh, on or her lack of policies rather, or her record, things she's done. But I think you should do the debate. Another thing is JD Vance. I'm not feeling this JD Vance guy. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling this JD Vance character. I've tried. I'm willing to give people a chance, but something it's something off. It's something off with his energy. It's just something off with him. But he made a state. He made that crazy statement about like the cat women's and the childless women's and responsibility. Like that is not smart to say things like that. as far as a part of the campaign. To me, it seems like with the JD Vance, yeah, he's good business wise. It seems like this is like his initiation or something. Like he's playing a big boys game. He's about to enter into to politics on a bigger level. But I think he's too. I don't think he's polished enough to run for the vice presidents for the vice presidency. I just don't yet. I don't think he's strategic enough. I don't think he's smart enough. But I do think he, as far as the qualifications, I think his resume is impressive. I think his military background is impressive. He did good at Yale. He's what else? He's in venture capital. Again, this is business, and it seems like they're bringing him into the fold on some business level. I'm talking about esoterically, from what I'm getting. I'm not going to read all into that spiritually because I don't feel like it. But yeah, this was good in terms of maybe the network that they are in terms of the big boy business shit that they pull, the network. But in terms of vice presidency with JD Vance, no. Now I think it was another part that could have been uh, okay is the fact that JD Vance was initially not a Trump supporter, and so they, it was like the optics of it is like, okay, we were able to JD Vance actually realized that he would rather go with Trump, or he's willing, I could see that, but he's not polished enough in terms of the things that he says. It comes off as mean spirited. And there's large groups of population, there's large populations of Americans that have their particular situation. And like Trump said, he did not agree with that, with what JD Vance said about these women, and he didn't agree with that about, and he said things happen, and things do happen in terms of why people would have small families, big families, not speak to their family, whatever the situation is. People do have their situations, and that's that relatability that we're talking about. Now you see, Trump still has that relatability. Now, even though JD Vance, it comes from more of like the middle class, he worked himself up, so quote unquote, or whatever, and he worked himself up. Let me just check it. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, he worked himself up. Believe it or not, even with all of that, he's not as relatable as Trump. And Trump is old money. Uh, Trump, you would think JD Vance would be more relatable than Trump, but he's not. In my estimation, he's not more relatable for some reason. And that's interesting because we're talking about someone that, like he said it. Okay, he came from a rough start. He worked his way up. Da da da. Da. But he gives off an energy that I'm telling you. I really wish he wouldn't have went with this candidacy, with this choice, JD Vance. I don't think it'll hurt him, but I don't think it's going to help him either. Um, and it will hurt him if he continues to make stupid comments about cat ladies and childless women and all this nonsense, and make blanket statements and assumptions and presumptions about people's situations that are just average everyday Americans, and you don't know people's situations to speak on it or to pass such cruel judgment. Okay, you want to undermine Kamala because she didn't have children, whatever. But you're dragging in a bunch of women that are college age, in their 30s, 40s, whatever, 50s. They could, anything could have happened. And a lot of people, they have their reasons. There's priests and priestesses that practice chastity. There's all types of things that for you to make statements like that. It's like, what, like, huh? And so I think he has some growing up to do, to be honest. Which, what, he's 39. I mean, 39 is, I mean, come on. He's young, and I know he's going to be in the game for a long time. But I'm telling you, this guy, it's the eyes. The eyes is the window to the soul, man. The eyes is the window to the soul. And I'm telling you, he is not more relatable than Trump. And maybe Trump did that on purpose, but this guy is not relatable as far as long term politicians, career. Look at these eyes. It wouldn't draw me in. I would, these eyes. He need to work on his heart chakra, to be honest, and that's esoterically. That's speaking esoterically. And I don't know if somebody bought and paid for it. I ain't trying to get into all of that, but I'm telling you something, for me, it just is just not appealing. And I do think that um, Trump is more relatable than his vice president. And I think I really do wish he would have went with Ben Carson. I really do. Now my thing is, did Ben Carson want to run? Maybe Ben Carson didn't want to be vice president of the United States. I mean, he didn't want to be bothered with politics. And then you know the top down, maybe they just didn't want Ben Carson. I had got that energy from the let me not speak too much, but for whatever reason, as far as they wanted business moves, like Trump is a businessman, and so he has his network of how they do things, and while Ben Carson is his friend, is not, it may not necessarily be on that type of level in terms of the business aspect of what Trump was looking for in terms of venture capital. Someone that has ran a startup before, knows the startup, know how venture capital works, knows how vesting periods work, investments, all of those. Like he's looking more so for that. That's what it seems like, and that could be more advantageous in his network than say Ben Carson, who is more of a scholar and more of a neurosurgeon, a doctor, a literal doctor, and more of that's not business. Um, and so I get the reason why, but I still think Ben Carson would have been more relatable in terms of Americans respect him, white and black. American is just like it's more of a respecting, it's a comfortability there, um, with the Ben Carson for me, and I know for a lot of Americans would have just been a comfortability for them because it's like, oh, it's Ben Carson, okay. Ben Carson, I think that's what it just would have been, and then he wouldn't outshine Trump or whatever. But JD Vance is making rookie mistakes, which is uh, forgivable. But he's making stupid stuff. He's doing stupid stuff. Now they're calling him a stalker because this is the second part. This is the second. I know Mark Lamont Hill was calling him a stalker. Now they're saying he's a stalker. Now who is this? JD Vance is on a stalker tour of the swing states, the nation. Let me read this because this is the second time I've heard them trying to swing this that he's a stalker, and I kept saying, well, can you give me, like, my thing is, if he's a stalker, then let's call it out. But like, I need to see at least a corollary, even if I don't have concrete evidence. If I can have a triangulation of like how, then I can make an assessment of that. But I didn't get that based off the evidence. But what they're saying is he's following Kamala Harris and Tim Watts on the campaign trail, um, wherever they go. Like wherever they tour, he tours. And I want to say I don't think that if he's doing that, I don't think that makes him a stalker, but I don't think that that is an appropriate strategy for JD Vance. I think he can do a lot of virtual stuff. I think he needs to build up more of on the virtual basis. I don't think he has enough clout, to be honest, to do the tours and then bring out people to his tours on a physical, like a physical tour. I don't. I don't think that's the most efficient use of his time. I think maybe if he was to do more stuff, more of the virtual stuff, perhaps in a tour here or there, or a tour with Trump. I don't know if they're saying that he's following Kamala Harris from tour to tour. Let's see, Kamala Harris, a new running mate. Here's what go back in the past. Okay, let's see. One reason I just want to read this real quick to see why are they calling him a stalker? The rollicking of ship contrast. JD Vance Dow appearance in Philly earlier that day, especially trail appeared to all the swing states. Okay, so he is scheduled to follow them pretty much for all the swing states they plan to visit this week. What is Donald Trump doing? Sending his weird old running mate out to stalk the charismatic Democratic duo. Who wrote this? Y'all gotta be smoking some crack. Y'all are trip bugging. This is funny to me. Sending his weird old running mate out to stalk the charismatic Democratic duo like a hangdog ex-husband. The low energy Trump has exactly one event this week. And the criticals, damn, this is the same stuff Michael Lamont Hill was saying. I thought that y'all had y'all own independent thought. Damn. I was just watching his show early because I was like, well, how is he a stalker? I'm hearing that. I'm thinking, when you hear stalker, I mean, the first thing in your subconscious mind, you think of, oh my gosh, the woman's in danger. And so I'm thinking, now they said that he ran up on Kamala Harris in Philly. Now that was people's exact word in Philadelphia. Roughly 200 people turned out to hear. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know if y'all just to take he's taking cheap shots and he's introducing unfortunate local residents who blame. I don't know about all of that. I'm not going to even read the rest of that because that's clear propaganda. But if only 200 people are turning out, that's not a wise waste. That's not a wise use of time. If you ask me, to schedule right wherever they're going, he shows up. They're not going to show up for him. Kamala is the vice president, so she has more clout than JD Vance, whether we want to admit that or not. That's just facts. Now, does she have more clout than Trump? No, but she has more clout than JD Vance. So if the strategy is to follow her from tour to tour, that's stupid. That's not good strategy. He'd probably be more effective if he did more virtual town halls, more virtual Zoom stuff, and wherever Trump he goes or whatever. And I don't know, like, as far as calling him a stalker, I don't think that makes him a stalker. I just think that they thought that this would be counter intelligence or counter propaganda to have him show up in the swing states, because after all, these are swing states. So you do want somebody kind of pushing stuff in them swing states, but then it's Trump's job. Trump went to Philly already. Okay, so Trump had already been there. So I don't know if it was necessary to really send Vance out there earlier that day. But then they saying that he ran up on her. Let me see if they said that too. Let me see. They said that he ran up on her. But then propaganda, like, did he really run up on her? Because now people, y'all just saying anything. No, the DNC, man, they play dirty, boy. You see how they wrote that stalker weirdo. They don't play, boy. To follow they said charismatic Democratic duo. So they said Vance spoke to a small crowd at a private event outside the Shabby Township police station, where he also trashed Watts' handling of protests in the wake of the police murder of George Floyd. Meanwhile, more than 50,000 people have already RSVP'd for Harris and Watts Detroit rally, so they had to move locations reportedly to an airport hangar. What an embarrassment for Vance. He better off campaigning from his couch than stalking Harris and Watts around the swing states. Nice work, Donald Trump, setting your running mate up for failure. Ooh! Who wrote this? Oh, y'all know y'all messy as hell. John Walsh wrote that. And so I would say he doesn't need to, if y'all got stuff scheduled and y'all paying money out, y'all putting campaign money on this for him to travel to wherever she's going. I don't think that's smart. I think he should be doing some town halls, whether that be Zoom town halls. Does he have the YouTube channel? Believe it or not, I mean, for he's a running mate, and nobody really knows him, and nobody really even cares, to be honest. And he's not more relatable to Trump than Trump. So if Trump goes on his rally or whatever he's got to do for the rest of his campaign, just tag him along with you. Why are you sending him to all these swing states after Kamala by himself? And he's bringing out 200 people or a small police station talking whatever. I don't know if that's the most effective use of the time. I don't think it's stalking though. But if he ran up on her, you're not a protest candidate. You're an actual running mate. So if that's true, and you ran up, you don't run up on any candidate if you're running for the vice president. Actually, you're a running mate. You don't need to do that. You don't need to run up on. I don't know if that's true, because they say anything, but they said that you ran up on her. Man, I mean, I wish I could find that, because I literally read that today. Not read that. I was watching the video and they said that you ran up JD Vance runs. Let me see if I could just Google it real quick if it's true or not. Runs up on Kamala. Did he really do that? Okay, so here goes something. Okay, because I guess this is somewhat true. Wait, I don't like that. I want something a little more serious. Okay. This is we can't even take none of this stuff serious, but that one was just, that other station that I clicked on was just a joke. Okay. So they are saying that, who thought this was a good idea? Vance tries to confront Harris at Wisconsin airport. Is that so? You did try to do that? No, you don't do that, because you're a running mate of Trump. You're not a protest candidate. You're not. Well, what are you? What was you going to confront her about? To say what? To do what? To say what? Like, I don't understand that. And so, and again, with this fake news stuff, you can't really you have to see it for yourself because they report anything. When I'm thinking run up on you, I'm thinking you ran up on, to get in their face and question them, and that's what I'm looking for. And I'm not really seeing that. So when you say ran up and they said run up, you try to confront Harris. That's the same thing. Confront and run up on someone is the same thing. To airport to check out the future plane, that's kind of like trolling at that point. So that's trolling to check out the future plane. Did you say that? Let me see. Is there okay? So that's kind of trolling. We really don't kind of need that kind of carrying on. So my thing is he needs a little bit more media training, and I think he need to be doing maybe some Zoom calls, some town hall. He needs to build up his likability with the public, to be honest. And so honestly, he'd probably be more effective on social media or with the virtual stuff for now, unless he's going to travel with Trump. I mean, I already got him scheduled to go out there to stalk, not to stalk. Oh God, they got me saying the word stalk, but to go out there to follow her campaign trail in the swing states. So we'll see. But with them saying this using this word stalk, he really gonna have to bring his game in terms of his productive value out there. So if he's gonna go out there when on Kamala's trail, whatever, what is he bringing to the table? What is he doing differently? Because if he's going to go there to troll or to just insult Kamala or insult the demo, whatever, then that's not really. He needs to go out there with an agenda of what he's going to be doing, of what answering questions, perhaps of the people, question and answers, whatever. But we'll see. We'll see with him. Yeah, and so that's what I have to say on that. It just looks like a big boy game initiation for JD Vance, and I think he's a little bit out of his league. I think he's enthusiastic. I think he's up for the job, and that matters. Like being up for the job, even if you don't have, even if you may be a little bit out of your league or you don't have the experience. The fact that the fact that he's willing to to make those mistakes and even to be somewhat bring flair in terms of the obnoxious ability. Just be careful because it could start to turn off people. And I know you turned off a lot of women with that, both conservative women and Democratic women with the cat lady statements. It's a lot of women that seriously in today's age, man, they have their reasons for the way they move, and you as a man don't have the right to speak on that. I mean, you're not a manosphere candidate. You're not running for the president of the manosphere organization. You are you are a vice president of the United States, potentially. And so, um, I think Donald Trump. I think he should have picked some. I think he should have went another route, but we'll see. The next thing is Megan Kelly says is Kamala passed a fair game with the Billy Brown situation. They want to bring up Kamala's Harris past. Um, do I think it's fair game? I personally wouldn't go there, but in the context of how dirty that DNC. Now I'm not saying Kamala is dirty. I'm talking about the way the DNC do their politics. Y'all see how they switched that? They called JD Vance a stalking weirdo who gets set up for failure by. I mean, and the stuff they put in the news, man. That they done dragged him out to courts. They dragged Trump through all the courts, done through book felony after felony after. So we know that they go down. When they go down, they go lower. Like so we know how they roll. Like they with the shits. Like they will get your motherfucking ass. They will waste your time, make up lies, do whatever they got to do to put their foot on your neck. That's how the DNC roll. And so, in the context of that, I see why a lot of the Republicans and the conservatives are like, shit, it's all fair game. Look what they did to us. Look what they did. Da, 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 da. Me being on the outside looking in, I personally, I think that there's a way to strategically go about it. Depends this is how I'll say it. Situation with Kamala Harris and Willie Brown. From what we understand, we all know he was married at that time. She was a side chick, and the wife knew about her. Now, some are saying that they didn't know. The wife didn't know about her. We'll never know. Actually, I think we will know. I just don't think. I don't look into all the details of all of that. But let's say if that lady knew and that they had something where her husband could have something on the side, and and the wife knew, what is y'all bringing up? He helped his woman. I mean, he helped his side piece get on. They said she was at 29, 30 years old making $130,000 for a position she wasn't qualified for, only showing up twice a month. I mean, I don't know what this debate right here. They were saying that she was uh ruining a marriage or whatever. Then there's some people that say that the wife had already knew about her. So how would you spin this? If you attack this lady's past in terms of trying to equate her to like some sort of like if you go real crass with this, you'll end up turning off women. The only way women will care about this situation is if you root it in the context of she she is a home wrecker. She breaks up homes. That's the only way you could turn off women from her. Honestly, even in the black community, the only thing that black women will hold against you as a woman is if you are a home wrecker. Look at the situation with Alicia Keys. Look how people treat home wreckers in the black American community. If they find out that you went and destroyed someone's marriage because you was just being a Jezebel, that's actually very much so frowned upon in the black community. That's the only way you'll get women to turn on her. You have to have proof of that though. You would have to have an actual. You can't just say it. But you would if you I have the proof of that, and y'all wanted to use that as a strategy of the home wrecking strategy. That would actually. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying strategically. Believe it or not, that would turn off a lot of women, black, white, whatever. Because a lot of, especially in the black American community, home wrecking is very much frowned upon. Now, notice home wrecking. That means the wife don't know, the wife was innocent, and the man just went out cheating, and the side chick knew, and they was together creeping and all that. That is frowned upon in the black community. Having a second wife is not frowned upon in the community. Having a side chick that the wife is approving of and knows of is not frowned upon in the community. So if it comes out that their wife knew about Kamala Harris and that she was okay with it, and she told him, yeah, you can have your side piece, but when they got serious with it, she said you get rid of her, and he got rid of her. All that's really not nothing nobody gonna care about. I'm telling you now. We watch. I mean, come on. They had Love and Hip Hop Atlanta with Stevie J, Jocelyn, and Mimi the first season. Look how many people thought that shit was funny as hell. Like Americans thought that shit was entertaining. The side chick shit was entertaining, and Mimi knew about Jocelyn. I mean, come on. And they actually did a threesome together. So like, get real. You trying to use that as a pass? Nobody's gonna give a fuck about that. If we find out that this was a agreement, they were together, and a wife knew, no one's gonna fucking care. Now, if she didn't know, and she was home wrecking, and he had her all out and about, and he 30 years older than her, and all of that, yeah, y'all can. That's probably fair game to use, and y'all have to spin it as a home wrecking thing. And if y'all got the evidence of that, and y'all got a statement of that, it's a home wrecking situation. Then you could. That's the only way the black community gonna care about it. Because other than that, they not gonna give a fuck. Because Kamala Harris is married now, and she's been married for 10 years. So, I think if the conservatives were going to try to use that as a strategy, y'all gonna have to swing at that home wrecker stuff. Other than that, just saying she's a whole like in this video right here, somebody called her a prostitute. This guy right here, they literally was like she was a prostitute. She was a prostitute. I don't. That's too strong. I don't know about all of that. Like we know how they people get down in politics and in Hollywood and all that shit. So I ain't even gonna get onto all of that. But let's say she was a prostitute. Let's just say she was. I mean, she did what she was supposed to do as far as getting in control of this fucking country. As far as the position of vice president, and people say she sold her soul, whatever, to get. Oh, you did. My thing is, if you was just imagine if you, it's so many hoes out here that don't get a bag, that don't get a position, that don't go legit, that don't figure out a way out. So even if y'all wanted to swing, like they were literally in this show right here, calling her a prostitute. My thing is, even if she was, my thing is, she obviously know how to parlay and to get herself positioned into the fucking vice president of the United States. She parlayed this quote unquote prostitution. So I don't understand. Like even y'all say slept so way to the side. It's women that sleep in their way for fucking pennies on the dollar. They sell themselves for the pennies on the fucking dollar. Don't get shit out of it. They are OnlyFans, not making no money. They get no coin, no nothing. And so my thing is, if she decided to parlay her way all the way into a position, that's not the way I would move. There's a lot of women that wouldn't move that way. But if you're already in that game, and if you already did it, if she started at young 20 something, 20, 39, you might as well, if you were gonna go in, go all fucking in. My thing is like that, I don't understand. Like, even if she was this high end call girl, whatever y'all say she was, Juliet Montel, whatever, and Millie Brown. Look what she's past done. She's far exceeded what Willie Brown was able to do and what Montel Williams was able to do. She's vice president of the United States, so that's some good ass selling to me, if you ask me. And I ain't trying to disrespect her. I don't even know if she, all this stuff is about a prostitute. That's a rumor. But I'm telling you in this interview that they said that. I mean, and if you didn't know any better, if you don't know about politics, and you listen to these people say these things in this debate, you will be like, wow, was she? What? Billy Brown? What is all this stuff? Propaganda. And so my thing is, I mean, all these OnlyFans chicks, all these strippers out here, they ain't got no motherfucking money, and they selling all this ass, and they don't even know how to parlay themselves into a position of power. I mean, I have to say, I'm not in that lifestyle, and I wouldn't roll that way. But if that is true, Kamala flipped the game on his head. Then let's say she was a prostitute. She's showing up how to sold some ass to get her ass in that damn vice president seat, cackling and all. Cackling and all, laughing all the way to the bank, laughing all the way to that motherfucking White House. Now she running for president. Now because my thing is, esoterically, once you make certain deals and certain contracts, or make certain, you do certain things, you're pretty much knowing that you're gonna have to stay here. You're gonna be here in 3D for quite a while, maybe for a couple of their lifetimes. Okay, and so if you know that you can't get out of the ionosphere because of the deal that you made, and I'm just speaking esoterically, entertainment purposes only. Esoterically, entertainment purposes only. If you knew that, wouldn't you want to get into the highest positions of the fucking country? If you knew that you couldn't get out on the 3D level, I'm speaking for those that spiritually that can understand what I'm saying. Imagine if you knew that you couldn't leave the ionosphere when you die, or that you knew that you were going to get back. You knew you were going to transfer your consciousness and come the fuck back here. I mean, come on. I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to lose anybody. But if you knew that, and you made your deal, and you did what you did, and signed whatever paperwork you signed to an agreement that you made, and yeah, you want to make sure that you're at the top of this country if you know you can't get out. And that's why you see people play that game and get in the game. And I'm speaking in code. So if that's true, then she played a game. Now she might have lost a lot in as far as on the spiritual side. That they know how I feel about all that. But I'm just saying, I'm seeing it from a different perspective, because I know good and hell well. If she was this quote unquote prostitute, where the hell are these ants coming from? Oh, I think because do they like this plant? Where are y'all coming from? Y'all not about to set up shop in my damn apartment. What the hell? Hold on, guys. I gotta get some. I can't have these ants setting up shop up in here. Oh, hell no. I don't got no crumb or nothing. Tea tree oil. I had a funny feeling that they were going to do that too today. I ain't got no crumbs or nothing on the ground. So I wonder why they want to set up shop. You know what? I got them plants. Let me move these damn plants. They could probably attract it to these plants. Hold on. I named my plants. Yeah, but I had them sitting out by that door, and I think them ants, they might like that plant. Okay. I don't have no crumbs or nothing where they can, you know how ants like to pile up around the crumb or some shit. I don't have nothing like that going around. I don't know why they even attracted. Oh, I see more. I'm not about to set up shop in here. Let's get them good. Let's get them real good. I ain't playing that. Sorry, buddies. You know, them ants, they work as an organized colony. So if they feel like they found a new home, if they feel like they found a new home, they go and grab the other ones and come back and try to set up shop in your shit. That's why I'm trying to nip that in the bud. But anyways, yeah, if they trying to say that lady a prostitute, man, that ain't the way you want to swing that, because you gonna give a lot of women some motherfucking ideas. Because they gonna be thinking like, shit, that's all I gotta do to get up into the, especially the ones that know they can't leave. And I'm talking in code. There's a people that know spiritually that they cannot leave this ionosphere, that they will be reincarnating back on planet Earth. Yeah, I do know that, right? And so at that level, at the vice, ooh, y'all want to go esoteric? I don't know if I should be going that deep. At that level, you have some body doubles. At that level, you get to just transfer your consciousness. You don't have to start over as no fucking baby as far as your reincarnation. And so, if you know that spiritually, like there's humans on this planet that already know this information, you know. And I know they may say, "Oh, that's misinformation." Just take it as entertainment. But if that's the case, then you would wanna be at the highest levels of governance or at the highest position, so that you can just transfer a consciousness or uh, have a whole fucking clone, to be quite frank. But yeah, we won't go that deep because I ain't trying to lose people here, because I know there's still 3Ds, and that's fine. But esoteric politics is the name of this video. But yeah, that the only way you're gonna be able to get people turned off, especially women, is if you say that, if you have proof that she had home wrecked that marriage. If not, nobody's gonna fucking care. And if y'all keep bringing up the people she slept with, oh, she did this, she go. A lot of women gonna actually start defending her, including conservative women, including white women's, black women's, Asian women's, because don't nobody want to see no women get beat up on. And so, okay, y'all got proof that she knew about Willie Brown's wife and had destroyed and wrecked that marriage and ruined that family. Then uh, show that proof and you can run that narrative, and that would be an effective strategy. But if y'all gonna sit up there and just be bringing it up, oh, she's a hoe and she's a prostitute, yeah, people not gonna really care too much about that, and it's people either people not gonna care, or they gonna feel like she's getting attacked, and they gonna start to come to her defense. They gonna feel like she's getting attacked. And again, a lot of the times these wives don't be victims at that level. These wives be knowing that their husbands got side chicks, and they give them permission. That's like Tiny and Ti. That's like when Tiny knew about Bernice Burgos. Tiny knew about Bernice Burgos. She knew about Bernice Burgos. You know, and she used to say the side chick has a role, like that side chick has a role, whatever. And so if Willie Brown's wife knew about her, trying to use that as a way to discredit her is not going to work, because if people have proof that lady knew and was okay with it, then honestly, she's going to get a pass. There are plenty of men that have side chicks, and then people going to bring up what Trump was doing and what Melania was doing. So Melania's passing, Trump's divorcing, all this shit. To be honest, they harped on that too. But if y'all want it to be fair game, then let it be fair game. But I'm telling y'all, The only way that is going to be effective is if y'all use that home wrecking strategy and have proof of it, though, because I heard multiple times that that lady already had knew about Kamala and that they had been separated and all that stuff. I've heard all types of shit, and we don't know, and she ain't never gonna speak on it. I mean, that would be dope if she did just get it out the way and be like, yeah, like yeah, she, I didn't know, or she could even say she didn't even know he was married. I mean, whatever, however she swings it, she could, But as far as like how they was coming at her, oh, she's a prostitute, man. It's so many prostitutes out here that don't know how to get a bag, that don't know how to parlay they ass, that don't know how to parlay themselves in a position of power. And if that is true about Kamala Harris, then damn, they need to be studying her because she sure figured out a way to get into the highest position of this motherfucking country, more so than Megyn Kelly. So Megyn Kelly want to bring up the Willie Brown situation, but it's like, okay, Megyn Kelly, how did you get your show? Let's not act like, I mean, she got her own YouTube now, and now people could be independent, but you were on Fox and stuff. So how did you get your Fox position and all that? Y'all acting like y'all niggas don't be selling ass to get on and all. Everybody in Hollywood and in politics be doing that shit. That's why I stay out of it. And but to try to, but again, they know that they being hypocrites. They know that whatever they just more so like fair game. Like, we gotta win, and this whatever we gotta use at our exposal to win is what we're going to do. And that's probably how they feel. That's how they feel. That's the only way um, that's gonna work. Home wrecking strategy, or just let it go. Um, and I better hope she don't actually speak up on that and shut that shit down. If she speak up on that and say, I didn't know at the time, or they were separated, and Willie Brown was someone that I was serious, that I was in love with, and we had a relationship. There was no side piece and all. If she come out with that and say something like that, yeah, really, what else y'all gonna use? That Montel William thing? They were a couple too. That was he introduced her to his daughter. So, I mean, at 60 years old, you're going to have multiple dating partners, and so if she's 59 years old, she's about to be 60. So, if you've seen her with a couple of partners, I mean, that's just that's just what it is. Like, that's just like you see Serena Williams and her partners, or Common and his many partners throughout his Hollywood career, throughout his rap career. People get with different people. And so I don't know. I mean, I know they're using this whole thing and this prostitute thing and slept her way to the top thing, and we'll see. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work, because she gonna give women, y'all gonna give people some fucking ideas, if anything. Like, all I gotta do is do that, and I could be the vice president. Y'all be careful with wording it that way, because if y'all making it seem that easy, like that lady just can get in there like that just from fucking, uh, you gonna give people some fucking ideas. That's all I got. Especially people that know they don't have a lot of God particle, and they already know they gotta reincarnate back on planet Earth. And so they want to see if they can get some damn clone and some damn conscious transfer, so they don't have to forget their motherfucking memory and come back as a baby. Yeah, I'm talking deep. Yeah, we going deep. Y'all know this is esoteric politics. It is what it is. Another strategy that I want to give to the conservatives. Then I'm gonna go into Kamala's strategy. Um, y'all have to word, like, I know this is just me. There was a Zoom meeting I actually wanted to attend. It was a conservative meeting for blacks, and I actually thought it was really interesting. But I wish we would word things differently. I thought it was like like conservatives for blacks for conservatives, or something like that, or something. And this is just for me. This don't mean nothing for anybody else. But I don't like when stuff is titled against, like something like, okay, blacks against such and such, blacks against this, or conservatives against this. Like, there was a meeting, it was blacks against Kamala, and I'm not for Kamala, but I'm not against either. I'm very indifferent, but I do have conservative views, and I do have more partialities to where I stand on certain things when it comes to my decision to have to be more partial to Trump. But I'm not against. Like I don't know. Like I didn't feel comfortable attending the meeting because I'm like I'm not against anything really. I'm for conservatism. I am for Black Americans questioning our allegiances and our interests and making more making more noise about that. And so I wish we would frame stuff better as far as like heck of algorithms. I don't do things from a reverse engineered perspective. I know how that's how this planet is. Everything is about separation. I'm against this. I'm against you. That type of thing. That's just the way this planet works. So this is not a dig at anybody. I don't want anybody to think I'm taking a dig at them, because it's not. That's just how it is. And so just because I operate differently doesn't mean anybody has to accommodate me at all. But it's just that my hecka algorithm. Like I always work from the perspective of what I am for, because I'm constantly, I'm not trying to reverse engineer a goal or create a lot of resistance, create a friction. I am for Black Americans that are conservative. I am for Black Americans that are independent, that like to think on their own. Those are the things that I am for. I am for that. So I wish the meeting was was literally named like something like that, like conservative blacks for conservatism, or black Republicans, whatever it is. I don't even care, but um, hearing blacks against Kamala for a Zoom meeting, I don't know, something about that just optic wise, it doesn't feel right. And I don't see Kamala as a part of my lineage necessarily. I don't see her as a Black American. Um, but it's just something off about that. This against word. I just wish it would have just said uh, blacks for conservatism, or blacks for even if it said blacks for Trump or something. I don't know. I'm not for her and I'm not against her. I just have my preferences. And again, I'm registered independent. I don't be getting. I'm not a Democratic shill. I'm not a Republican shill. However, it could be one thing that I like more than that other person, and that's where my partiality will go to, and that's where I will throw some energy behind. It's as simple as that. It's not nothing personal. It's nothing. I'm not diehard into politics like that, even though I do plan to run. Um, but as far as getting all into like this capping for y'all. Neither one of them is paying me, so I'm not about to be going out on no dummy on no limb for anyone. Um, uh, right now, because I push for certain policies that I would like to see, things like OCC done in this country. There's no secret about that, of things I would like to see done for American people. And so that's where I stand with it. And whoever aligns with that better will get my support. I would like to see a ceasefire. Um, and with the Gaza and Israel, I've seen some very disturbing things come out, and I don't want to see any more children hurt. That's just me. Again, I live in a whimsical world. So the world people live in, they got to have fight and strife and conflict and shit. But for me, I'm kind of like I like peace. Like I don't know about all that. I do think we should end that shit in Ukraine, and there should be a ceasefire. And I've been saying that for months. Um, and so whoever, I do hope that these candidates do that, but they have orders, and they may not. Um, we may not get that ceasefire out of either one of them. Um, and so we see, but that child trafficking, that human trafficking, Trump, you got to be on that, and that is serious. That is something that you're going to be held to by the primordials, like that's what you've been doing. You have been working to stop that in 2016 through 2020, and that's the work you got to pick up on again. Um, is that child trafficking shit, and human trafficking. And so I would like to see, that's the main reason, probably one of the biggest reasons why there's a lot of people that supported Trump in the first place, especially the black people that had been supporting him in 2016 because of the Drain the Swamp campaign, the Drain in the Swamp, and the fight against the human trafficking. So that's my pie in the sky idea. That's what I wanted to stop. And so that's whoever aligns more so with that is where I'm going. Simple as that. I also like y'all just sent an email out from the secretary of the Department of Education about some of the changes with that loan stuff, with that student loan stuff. I thought that was cool. I really do. I think that the years from 2000 and 2005, those years, I want them bumped up more. I think they should be bumped up more, personally. Um, uh, but I think that that's pretty cool. I just think there should be some improvements, and y'all should send that email out again. And I think I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of people that will that email that y'all sent out last night that had my ears perked. I ain't gonna hold you, but I do think y'all had to do a little bit more, up those dates, um, and honestly go a little bit, push a little bit harder, because that shit, that alone may get a lot of these Americans, especially these college students, that alone may be like, yeah, I think we may want, I'm just saying that's how people think. People think about their own personal damn interests and their own individual lives and how they're going to be affected, and that's just common sense. And so, um, it is very possible. You don't have to campaign on that, but if y'all just smooth sell it, it's like how y'all sent that email out last night about that opt in, opt out shit about that secretary from the Secretary of Education. I think y'all should push a little bit more, and y'all y'all may have, that's a good look. Another thing, with the Kamala Harris and the Megan Thee Stallion thing, if she wanted, Megan Thee Stallion to do like a concert for a campaign, she shouldn't have rallied there or did a speech there, because that honestly, I'm telling you, that looked like a damn circuit. That looked like a movie. Like that looked like that could be a video, a music video. Like it just it's not mathing. That can't be taken serious, as a president of the United States of America. That can't be taken serious, as far as like seeing this body yada yada shaking ass like that, and then having Kamala do a speech right after for a rally. And this, we did it in 2024, and we gonna do it again, and we did it in 2020, we gonna do it in 2024 with this accent. All of us like, nah, like she shouldn't even been there. It should have just been a concert for Kamala. Megan, like, honestly, a Megan Thee Stallion free concert for Kamala Harris, as far as, but it should have been known that Kamala wasn't gonna be there, because Kamala has an actual fucking rally to do maybe the next day that is more on a serious note that can be taken serious. But rally, and if y'all want to throw a concert with some of these black artists and have these free concerts, and have Quavo or whatever, and they come out, they want to, and Megan, they want to campaign for her, they can do their own concert, and they get paid or whatever. They even have Kamala, is known as for Kamala Harris, um, but not have her there speaking. You know, I don't think, not that type of artist, because Megan Thee Stallion, she does hip hop, and she does more of, salacious hip hop, as far as, her music, does speak more to about, her sexuality and whatnot. And I like Megan Thee Stallion. I think she's a very beautiful woman, but, you know, she just this the ass shaking, and she does the Megan the knees. She got these strong knees that can handle this big old ass, just shake it up and down. She lost a lot of weight, but, Megan is a stallion. She's a beautiful woman, and so, that's not, if Kamala wants to do a speech and have, artists perform, you're gonna have to, yeah, you may want to go with someone that, does not twerk, and have a catalog that talks about how wet they are, and wet ass pussy, and wop, and big old freak, and all this stuff. You might want to pick another artist. But if Megan Thee Stallion, and you guys, the campaign wants to do, concert for Kamala, then they can do that and have people come out for free, and pass out maybe stuff about flyers with Kamala's name on it, or something with Kamala. and she could maybe speak the next day or not speak at all. And it's just a concert and people are just going for, But my thing is, the Republicans said that, and I laugh reading this. The Republicans said that the Democrats had buzzed. I wish I read that article again. That they had buzzed homeless people in Atlanta, Georgia, and crackheads. They bust them and took them to the concert to go to a free concert, and they put the homeless people on the bus so that they could go to the Megan Thee Stallion and Kamala Harris rally concert for free. I don't believe that. But I said, who wrote that? It was an article. No lie. It was literally an article. And I said, oh, y'all so grimy. That's what I'm saying. Politics is so brutal, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm cut, man. I know I'm strategic, but whoo, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. And I don't think that they buzz no homeless ass people. I mean, maybe a couple, but people gonna go to a free concert. It is Megan Thee Stallion. People. You think people got $150 to throw on concert tickets these days with this inflation and this economy? They heard it's ATL, shorty. They heard Megan Thee Stallion free concert. That's all the fuck they heard. I'm telling you now. That's what they heard. And they said, we gotta get your clothes on, let's put our dress, let's put our best on, and we going down there and see what the fuck that's about. That's what they did. That's what they did for sure. They had this old ass white boy just in the back. He looked so out of. It was so hilarious. He was so out of place. He just looking like he looking at Megan Thee Stallion, and he looking like, whoa, But look at this. Like this is like a movie. Like I'm telling you, watch Head of State by Chris Rock. That's what this is out of. Look at this old ass white guy just looking like he don't even know what Megan Thee Stallion is. That's why he got his phone on. He like, what? And it looks nice. But not for no, come on. And Kamala Harris got this on her YouTube channel. Really? Kamala? Really? Like I said, if this was just a concert without Kamala being there for his actual speech, and it was just she wants to do campaigning on her behalf, and I think that would have been cool. And they could have had these signs just like they had, But they saying that they housed the homeless of ATL and busted the homeless of ATL and took them to the free concert so they could act like more people was there. I don't believe all of that. I think that people really wanted to show up because it's a free concert, and that's how people go. That people want to see Megan Thee Stallion, especially them young folks. It's packed. It's packed. And it's for her. It's mainly for her, most likely. You got some people that's there for Kamala, and then they had Quavo. Quavo was there, and so are these artists really acting on their own volition? Are they paid? Do they really want to campaign for her? We don't know. Perhaps not. But I think that she should have, if she was going to speak. I'm telling you, she should have just had that concert just for them, just for the public, knowing that it's for Kamala Harris concert sponsored for the campaign of Kamala Harris, and Megan could even give her some work. Even they should have had Megan. Be honest, this is how what y'all should have did. Y'all should have had Megan Thee Stallion get a speech. That would have been better if a good 5-10 minutes, nothing big. Have her perform, and then have Megan and Quavo had them come and speak on her behalf, Kamala's behalf. But Kamala should not have been there. I can't take this serious. And they should have been speaking about why they feel they want to vote for her, or why they feel the people should vote for her. I'm just speaking as a strategic. I'm literally speaking as a strategist. Like that's how it should have, because people dragged this. People were looking like, why is she twerking? And Kamala, this I mean, it does look, it is, we got to do, I mean, who are we pandering to? Because people do kind of separate entertainment from their politics. I personally don't, but when it comes to this type of stuff, I do think it to a degree it should still be somewhat separate when we depending on the context of the artist. I mean, if we know that their body of work is body yada yada and I'm a savage. What is it? Classy, bougie, ratchet. What's happening? What's happening? Come on. I mean, and then the president comes out. The president who has to come up with foreign policy, who has to protect our national security, who has to decide about wars, and has to have the awareness of these intelligence apparatuses and space, um, who has to have a sound knowledge of our markets and American economy, and yeah, classy, bougie, ratchet. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I guess, but I mean, I know you got to be relatable, but this is where you start making somebody look like a fool versus being relatable. And I think that they damaging her reputation more so. You know, as far as, oh, go on drag race, RuPaul's drag race for your initial campaign, and then do this as your as a part of your campaign. Like, now you're just making somebody look like a fool. And I don't think Kamala is coming up with all these things. I think there's a team coming up for with her for this stuff, or there is orders being passed down telling her she has to do this stuff because this. I don't think Kamala is thinking about this stuff. Oh, let me put this all together. Oh, let me have Megan Thee Stallion perform at my speech in Atlanta, Georgia, at my rally. I don't think that she's coming up with these ideas. So whoever is coming up with these ideas, you're gonna probably have to fire them, or you're gonna have to you're gonna have to push them, challenge them a little bit more to paint a narrative of where you can still be seen as serious, but also relevant to. You see how Trump is taken seriously, but you see how he had Aiden, you know, and so you want to bridge that gap between relatability and making sure you're not looking like a joke, or people are not, or like, oh my gosh, that's not going to be the president of my. I mean, we literally are. She has buttons to the nuclear weapon. We're talking about twerking. Twerking is fine, but again, they should have had not had her there, or she should have been there the next day, or maybe something the next day or something. Maybe a Kamala Harris comes there, she's not doing the speech just right after, just right. Uh-uh. She'd had Megan had give her Megan. Megan's a college graduate, so Megan can write a speech. Megan also writes raps, and so Megan Thee Stallion could have given a 20-30 minute speech presentation on why she wants to vote for Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, not Megan Thee Stallion, vote for Kamala Harris. I actually think that would have been brilliant had they just had her perform. The outfit I thought was really cute. This outfit is really cute. Um, she could perform. The girls were dressed really nicely. I think they should have had pants on too, to be honest, or darker stockings, to be honest, darker stockings. And I think she should have performed her stuff, and she should have been up here giving her a speech, 20-30 minute presentation. I'm talking about screen and all of why Kamala would be a good president for her, and for what she believes in or whatever. And they could have paid her to do that, even if she didn't really even think that. But uh, they should have had her uh, prepare like a 20-minute, 30-minute speech, and then have Quavo perform as well and do him a speech. And that could have been an end of it, as far as what they and again, Megan went to college, so she does know how to write a paper or something. She could have just been reading the paper for all we give a damn, or have come up with a PowerPoint. But I think that would have been better, a better look as far as reaching that Gen Z, reaching those millennials, and then people would have been like wanting to hear her perspective, Megan Thee Stallion's perspective, and have people look over and make sure Megan Thee Stallion don't go out and make a fool out of herself, look over her speech or whatever, and whatnot, and had them there. And then if Kamala wanted to come back the next week, or actually maybe a couple of days later, then do her official rally, um, and more that with a more serious look, or even an artist. I don't know the artist thing, but at the rally performances, I guess I get at the rallies. I guess I'm not too sold on it. It wouldn't be anything that convinces me to vote. I'm not under any type sort of MK Ultra, so for me that wouldn't entice me to vote just to or want me to can't just because a celebrity performs. So I can't relate to that feeling. I don't know what that feel like. It doesn't do anything for me. I see it for what it is. I see this as all as propaganda machine, and I'm just giving strategy as someone that's watching literally a movie. That's how I see it. And so I'm not trying to be offensive here, but I mean the world is a stage. Let's be real. um as far as the Tim Watts, I think that was a smart move. And on Kamala's part or her team's part, they picked Team Watts. This is an American working man. He doesn't own any stocks or bonds or even property to call his own. He has a net worth of 330,000. They overdid it to me. He's 60 years old. They overdid it as far as the oh he makes less than the average American. He's not this super millionaire. His net, look how they got it worded. His net worth is less than the average Americans. His salary is $127,000 or 166,000, whatever they. Let's see. Meanwhile, the annual. Okay, so both him and his wife, and he's the governor, is $166,000 before tax in 2022, and he's a state governor. And so he receives, what's his salary? Watts is even entitled to earn more than 127,000 salary he receives as a state governor, but he has elected not to receive the roughly $22,000 difference. So they saying that he represents the stable middle class. Um, the governor's office, okay, da, da, da. So they saying Kamala's net worth is 8 million, and then his is 330,000, and he's 60 years old, and he's a governor. And then they say in Donald Trump's net worth is 4.8 billion. And they say Watt's direct competitor, former venture capitalist J.D. Vance, is also wealthy. So you see, they're trying to paint this narrative. A chunk of value comes from owning stacks and does a company through his narrow capital management firm. So you see how they juxtapose this. J.D. Vance is a venture capitalist. That means he's an investor. He's a venture capitalist in startups, and he has his own capital management firm. So he's big on money and the accumulation of wealth. They have a net worth of 10.4 million, and he has real estate. So see how they juxtapose that with picking Tim Watts, who has no real estate, who has no stocks, no bonds, who has no investments whatsoever. And believe it or not, there are a lot of Americans that fall in that category. There's a lot of working class Americans. There's a lot of working class Americans that don't have shit that's still voting for Trump, and they can't even relate to the wealth that J.D. Vance has, and him being a venture capitalist and being a graduate of Yale. To be honest, as far as J.D. Vance's background in venture capital, and I went to Columbia University for tech management, and like I'm familiar with I've never had like venture capitalist experience or anything like that, but I understand how venture capital works with startups and whatnot. And so for me, I kind of relate more to J.D. Vance on as far as some of the way he moves. Not again, I don't think he's relatable to the average American, but I understand his story. I understand him, but I just don't think he's relatable. And I think he made some ridiculous comments so far. But at 39, what do you expect? But the Tim Watts situation, that's going to win a lot of Americans over. That was a very good strategy to pick. I think that they're overdoing it in the media, though, making it seem like he's just so down to earth and he's just so salt of the earth background. Look at this. He's enlisted in the Army National Guard. He was a high school teacher, football coach, public service member. He was a member of Congress in 2006. And then he was the state governor. And he believes in universal school lunches, legalized marijuana consumption. See, universal school lunches. We were just talking about that earlier with the Black Panther Party and a free lunch program. and they got it worded Democratic base. Since Harris made a public ticket by about let me see what else he got in here. So Watt's humble finances could appeal to the lower income voters in the white working class towns, but he'd be competing for their vote with J.D. Vance. The senator hails from Ohio and captured the sense of hopelessness many feel in their bestseller Hillbilly Elegy. And see, they're copying Trump's strategy with the Hillbilly Elegy and J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance is not no motherfucking hillbilly. I mean, they like to swing things that way, you know. He's joined the big boy club. He's not in no damn hillbilly shit. Not anymore. Maybe he was, but yeah, this hillbilly stuff. This man is hardcore business, hardcore money. He wants big money, and he's gonna get it. He got a long career. He's gonna get big money. He's Trump is his mentor. He's talking a gang of shit about Trump, and now he supports Trump. And he wanted to get him on Wall Street, and got all these fucking ideas. Got all these ideas when you're 39 and when you're young, you don't know shit. And when he was talking shit about Trump, that was 4 years ago. He was 30, 35. I'm 32 years old. So you think you know a lot, and you get to see the world, and the decisions you have to make and the way the world works and how business works. And he realized, oh shit, this is above my pay grade, and I'm in venture capital, and this is a corporation. Like the United States is a corporation. This is money, and it's governed by that. Unfortunately, how you look at it. And so when you talk about, we're going to go after Wall Street and go after what Wall Street you going after, J.D. Vance? I don't see him going after no Wall, but they reeled his motherfucking ass in. That the business boys and that network, they reeled his ass in. And I think he kind of bowed down like, this is a bit above my pay grade. There ain't no going after no Wall Street and going after the corporations. Nah, that ain't how that works. You're gonna play ball, you get the fuck on. And so that's this hillbilly stuff that they want to swing with JD Vance. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I see it for what it is. He went to Yale. He went to got into venture capital business, big business, got into politics, moving up the ranks, just how he should. Now he might have come from eager means and meager, lower means, and worked his way up and whatnot. Made the right connections, did what he had to do to get there, and that's one thing. But he's not talking no more. He's not talking that hillbilly talk no more. Now, Tim Wise technically is still walking that talk. He's 60 years old and ain't got no damn real estate, no stocks, no bonds, no assets. He got they got their pension. He was a teacher. He got a net worth of $330,000. They now that is middle class, and that's kind of like what's more relatable to the American people. They look like minimalists. They look like people that practice stoicism. They look like people that live below their means, that understand, that's what it is. And so people made that. I feel like that was a good strategy on their part to pick him. I really do. I feel like that was a smart thing, optics wise. I may not translate into to much, especially amongst even the white folks, because even if the white folks don't got no money, and they don't have even as much as Tim Watts, they still go for the J.D. Vance, who got $10 million, and Trump with $4.8 billion. A lot of these hillbilly white folks still gonna vote for Trump, even against their own interests. Even if it was against their own interests, even if they don't even have the pedigree to even understand Trump's policies in terms of how they are more geared towards the business class and how he's a businessman. They thinking that they hillbilly ass still may find more camaraderie with him because he's white. He can't relate to them at all. He can't relate to them at all. And it's that same with the Boule. You got rich Boule who gonna vote for more Kamala, even though they would have more technically in common with Trump and JD Vance. That's just the way these things work, But Tim Watts, he's more relatable than JD Vance. I do have to say that. Oh, I have to say that. Even just from the look. Like, look at this. Look at this outfit. Look at these clothes. That's more relatable to a lot of Americans. This right here. That looked like somebody from Buffalo, New York. That's how people in Buffalo dress. This is how people in Buffalo look. See, with me, even with me, I have to work on my relatability because I am very avant-garde, and I like hair and makeup and big earrings, and what I do like to go out and stuff when I'm at home, and I don't do that. I'm very eccentric in the privacy of my house, but when I have to go out and get dressed, everybody that knew me, that ever knew me, they know I like to dress. I like makeup, hair. I do hair, makeup. I like all that shit. Beautiful clothes, beautiful big jewelries. So I have to, work on my relatability. Um, because I do like to I've always been one to look really nice and look good and whatnot. But then it may not always people have always kind of looked at me as like, is she snobbish, or is she, a little unapproachable, or because I like to look like a queen, to be honest. But this type of look right here. Oh, am I? Oh, yeah, I'm not showing it. Oh, I thought I was showing it this whole time. Sorry, guys. I hate when I do that. But this type of look like this look right here. This how people in Buffalo dress. This is Minnesota grown, and it looks more relatable. It really does. It looks more relatable to the American people. This is how the average American people look in dress, especially like Buffalo, New York, and Western Upstate, Minnesota, Midwest. People don't be dressing all fancy and all this stuff. And so this is relatable to a lot of people. So we'll see. We have to see about his policies and stances on things, but we'll see. I think he's more relatable than JD Vance. He just gives you completely, he's business. That's the vibe that I get from it. That's not a bad thing because I have to work on my relatability. So it's not like, oh, like how I have to work on my relatability for sure. And so this is not me just wagging my finger, but I have to say that Tim Wise guy, he got him beat as far as likability so far. As far as likability, relatability, uh, you know, the eyes is the window to the soul. And so JD Vance, these eyes don't look like somebody I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I could pick up energy real good, man. And I let's just hope. What I'm hoping is that Trump uh, doesn't. But we'll see how this goes. But I really am curious as to why. Again, this is esoterically. This is all business. That's the first thing I get is business, business deal. Something deeper. But I'm not even gonna get into all what I see on that spiritually. But yeah, I don't even know why he picked him as a can, but whatever. Um, Lastly, the Kai Sinat situation with the Kamala invite. Well, it wasn't Kamala's campaign or her herself. It was somebody that was a third party that was associated with the DNC that wanted him to campaign for him. And Kai Sinat said he didn't want to get into politics. He didn't want. He has that right. He has that right to not want to get into politics at all and speak on that because his fan base they don't really go they don't care about that type of stuff. Those are not people that would probably even be voting, to be honest. So I don't understand what would be the point of having a Kai Cenat endorse Kamala. Nobody is looking at Kai Cenat for politics. I'm sorry, but they're not. They look at these people for entertainment. And yes, politics is entertainment, but his audience, these Gen Zs, and they not looking to they not they're not going to go and be encouraged to vote for Kamala. I mean, they may think it's a nice idea. They may go tell their parents, "Oh, Tyson, I endorse Kamala," but I don't think that. I don't know. But again, she denies it. She says that wasn't her, but it was. They have informal ties to the DNC's convention team, so it was a third party organization with informal ties to the DNC's convention team. So he didn't lie and just make it up and just say, because they were saying that he just, the way they were reporting it, made it seem like Tyson not just made that up or whatever, but that wasn't the case. They did. The DNC convention team organization did reach out to him for that endorsement. It just had nothing to really do with her, or she could have plausible deniability. If she did know, if he did want to go to the public and deny it, then they can spin it around, just like um, how they made Nicki Minaj look crazy when they when they was trying to talk about bringing her to the White House, and then they try to say, "Oh, we never invited her." Yes, y'all fucking did. Um, but yeah, I don't think that this strategy of going like copy, because they're trying to copy what Trump did with Aiden Ross. Trump had Aiden, so they want to get Kai and Kamala. And my thing is, as far as this third party, and this is something for the third party informal ties to the DNC convention team, y'all should actually throw out kind of like on, is it Shake, the Shake influencer? Y'all should throw out a kind of like, let me Google this because I know it's like a this right here, influencing. We are influencing marketing right here, influencer marketing. This right here, y'all should put up a campaign or an ad or jobs. But literally, I mean, I know this may sound like, I mean, there should be no shame in your game at this point. I mean, you only got fucking 3 months, 4 months. Just put it up there and see which big influencer takes the bite. Like, why are y'all going after? Just put like go. They make up. There's plenty of influencers like on here. There's like a whole influencing marketing apps where there's major influencers that look to partner with, certain for campaigns, whatever. So say there's brands, whatever. Scale your influencing marketing efforts. Quickly find and hire influencers. Full service influencing marketing. Look at this. Hire a full service team to take care of everything. So you go in there and you put the position up that it, and make it known that you're a third party organization that is informally with DNC connections, looking for people to looking for influencers to endorse Kamala, and put that up on here and see who takes the bite. I mean, trying to go after these big fish like Kai Cenat and putting it, like, just put the ad out there, and then those influencers come to you for one, and then you scale to see and then hire. I mean, you look through to see which ones applied and which ones got bigger influence and which ones align with the stuff is good and negotiations are good. Maybe you even and then you do it that way. If it is an informal third party that has I'm sorry, a third party that has informal ties to the DNC convention organization. That's how you do that. I mean, if that's really the case, you should have no problem um, putting what you're looking for out there amongst a influencer marketing software and services. What's the harm in doing that? Or there's even more in clandestine ones than this one. I mean, some of this one is just more of the this is one of the more cheaper ones that people can afford. But y'all could go with some heavy level where y'all can get like that stuff where like Vogue and Paul, these agencies and all that. Y'all know how to do all this shit. I don't even know why y'all playing games. But I think that y'all should let them take the bite though. Y'all should go on an app with influencer marketing service to where they can, so that the influencer can apply for that particular uh position, that particular uh marketing campaign. They should be the ones to sign up for it and come to you, and you put it out there, say this is what we're looking for, and they the ones that whoever want to take the bite. That's where you get a more genuine effort in terms of the person that wants to actually endorse Kamala, the influencer that wants to endorse Kamala. It's more genuine. It's less of a headache, and it's you already voiced, you already stated the criteria and the services that you were even looking for, and the type of influencer that you're looking for, and then they're just applying. It's just like Upwork. Think of that type of thing, of Upwork or a Fiverr, where you have to kind of not bid, but submit your like you submit your proposal or submit or apply for it. Uh, and I think that's a better look than just have sending these people out to go and look for certain influencers, putting them on a spot like that. That's not cool. Um, I don't think I should. I think it should be the other way. Do it the other way around and see who comes in and wants to campaign for her. They're pretty sure there are people that I mean these influencers they want to get paid. I mean, we'll probably have Ice Spice will probably apply for some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of influencers out here that need a bag, and they will endorse Kamala for a bag, and it will be believable. You know, um, but they looking to get like they looking to have what Trump did with Aiden Ross. They looking for that type of energy momentum. And to be honest, I don't think Tyson that would be the best fit because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of convergence even with Kai Cenat, and then you know he gets called out by those in the delineation movement. There's a lot going on with the delineation and demarcation of ethnicity and race, and so things are different in 2024. Things are a lot different. That's why there's people that are there's a big debate about even Kamala being black, and people are dragging us to filth for saying that she's not Black American, and she's not Black American. And we've said that just for the record, and it wasn't to cause a distraction; it was to state it, and then to move on to what the actual policies are, and what her policies are, and as well as um, what what they are, her lack of policies, and also her actual record as vice president, her record as district attorney, and whatnot, and her record as a prosecutor. Those are the things that are more important than the distraction of her race. But it is a logical fact that she is not Black American. Her mother is Indian, East Indian from the Brahmin class, and her father is Jamaican from the West Indian, Coolie, and Irish lineage. That has nothing to do with Black Americans. And just because someone goes to a HBCU and wears Tim's, that does not make you a Black American. I hope you guys know that. And whoever is trying to push that strategy or try to play on people's top like we're just dumb for stating the obvious, shame on you. I mean that is so incredulous. Like don't insult people's intelligence. Like people can crack open a book. We know that Kamala Harris comes from the Brahmin class in India, which is the upper class of the Indian caste system. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a fact. It's a fact. On her birth certificate, her mother is labeled as Caucasian. Kamala Harris is not labeled as Black on her birth certificate herself. And so once you have an understanding of what of those things, you just move on. It's not a big deal. It's not like someone is trying to harp on, oh, she's not Black, she's not Black. Y'all are trying to force us to acknowledge that, and it's 2024. Things evolve. So the Obama strategy and all that shit with, oh, he's Black, and that shit ain't gonna work no more. Like that, it's not 2008 no more. You got to update your fucking algorithm. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And y'all gonna have to update and get fresh strategy in there. Shit, yeah, get somebody that can actually strategize on how to do this shit right on both sides. That go for the Republicans and the DNC and the RNC. Y'all gotta. This stuff needs some fresh energy, man. Y'all keep using this same playbook, and then y'all wondering why. Yeah, it's a bunch of misunderstanding between the constituents and the strategy that y'all be using. Now y'all freaking out because we don't see this lady as a Black American. Then y'all want to call people low information voters. Ain't nobody know low information voters, bitch. We know more information than half these people all over the country. It ain't about no damn low information. We know exactly what the fuck we talking about. I did a 5-hour video on Rumble. It was initially on YouTube, but they took it down. Going through her bloodline, had her parents out there, her handsome father, showing that he's coolly eat West Indian and Jamaica. Jamaican also has uh, various ethnicities within Jamaica, and not everybody is black in Jamaica. There's Irish people in Jamaica. There's indigenous people in Jamaica. There's Chinese in Jamaica. There's West Indian in Jamaica. There's mixtures. There's also people that from the slave trade from Ghana and Senegalese that also have mixed in. Now that's black. Her father is not that. Her father is not from that slave trade. So y'all got to, just because somebody is Jamaican does not equal means that they're black. There are Coolie Jamaicans. There are West Indian Jamaicans. There are Chinese Jamaicans that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years, mind you. Not some immigrants. We talk about people that went over there 500 years ago. Chinese people. Okay, so y'all gotta miss us with that. Like, stop trying to push that on there, and we don't. If it's the honest, if you walk in your truth and then you're honest, don't nobody give a damn about that. Now, here's the thing: you think that if Kamala came up with some policies for Black Americans, you think Black Americans would be all up in arms about that? They wouldn't even care. If you're gonna walk the walk, you really got to talk that talk. You're gonna talk, you really got to walk that walk. And so if she's gonna bring up, I went to HBCU, I'm AKA, okay, have some black policies and really shut the fuck up about it. But until then, people gonna keep harping on that because they can't relate to her. And outside of that HBCU stuff and that AKA stuff, and not everybody is D9, and not everybody care about the boule. And so if she wants, if just because she got adopted by Black boule, Black Venetian nobility, does not mean that that is all of Black America, because all of Black America does not care about that. Now, again, if she had policies for us or was looking out for us, yeah, your Indian ass would be black today, because we need, well, shit. You looking out for us. You care about us, and we fucking with you because you got some policies for us. She still wouldn't be a Black American, but I bet you people wouldn't be harping on it as much. People wouldn't be harping on it as much if she was, her Timbs and her collard greens, whatever, and she really was looking out, like she had some good ass policies that we like, oh shit, we like that. Okay. You talking about reparations? You're talking about some of the shit, housing situations and things of helping Black American homelessness situation, and you was really doing those things at Black American business, helping our Black American business class with grants and opportunities and all that shit, and we saw that. You wouldn't hear all these people clamoring on you about you not being black. But we don't got none of that. We don't see none of that in policies. We don't see nothing that help the Black American community. And you say you're not going to do nothing for black people, so that's why they coming hard at you. So if you switch that around, you could switch that around and actually. But we all know it's a game, and y'all not about that life. But I mean, if it sucks, but if that's the hill y'all willing to die on, as far as not giving anything tangible to Black Americans, then that's the hill y'all willing to die on. But it could be very much simple in terms of strategy. But even then, like it's above they pay grade at that level. But they, and by that I'm talking about these, the level that really runs shit, that makes the decisions. Y'all gonna have to budge on something, or y'all gonna keep hitting gridlocks. Y'all gonna keep hitting gridlock after gridlock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and y'all gonna sit up there and keep getting disrespectful. Y'all ain't gonna get shit with being disrespectful. Y'all gonna have to come off. Yeah, I'm telling y'all. And so whoever comes up with some policies or something that even remotely look like is about to help the Black American community, then they you'll see that support. You'll see that support from whoever, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats. But if y'all just gonna keep on with that benign neglect policy, don't get mad when motherfuckers check out, or when there's groups of factions of Black Americans completely checking out of the system, doing their own motherfucking thing, and y'all don't do no horse and pony show to try to get us back in the fold. Like, really be about that life. Really, really, really show that y'all serious. Or get the fuck out the kitchen. Get the fuck out the kitchen. Yep. So that's all I got to say about that. I just wanted to, because I just be seeing stuff and I just be thinking about things, and I'm like, let me just do a video on this real quick. I ain't thinking too hard about this shit, but I just wanted to talk about it nonetheless. Because I do know that on the playback, I know that them think tanks, I know they be watching my shit. They be utilizing some of this strategy. They do. They be utilizing, but they know I don't want in on their stuff because I don't want to be controlled, and so I'm not gonna be brought in a fold where, and then I gotta be controlled. That's not how it works. So, yeah, use some of those strategies, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.